Okay, this is April 1st, meeting of the Economic Development Committee, 6:05. Meeting's called to order. Do the roll call. Jerry.
Jerry Schaefer.
Tom Rudliff.
Ken Tetzner.
Jack Cadman. Ian Clark.
Susan Marcus.
Kirk Brown.
Mike Gaggis.
And Brian Wagner, Planning Department.
All right, we have a quorum. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes. You did not approve these at the last emergency meeting, or?
We did approve all but the March 16th
Right.
minutes.
Okay. So did anybody have a chance to look at the 16th?
Yeah.
Yep, I think they're fine.
They look okay? Do we have a
I'm
motion?
making a motion.
I'll second.
Jerry? Kurt? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries? Okay. We have a slew of correspondence, and here's the V.
Whoa.
Rain dragged in.
Yeah, exactly. Just flew in.
It just got really wet outside.
Oh, boy.
Really?
It just started coming down.
Just flew in from the coast.
We're already started.
Just started, went through the,
So we have
Randy Apuzzo joining
Got it.
as well. Okay, we have correspondence. Have we reviewed these things before, or we have?
Oh, sorry, that's me.
We didn't, at the last meeting, no.
We did not. Okay. So we did get the communication from Nico Scout. She came here at our February meeting, I guess, told us what she was up to in her business.
Right, just as a reference, we didn't have a quorum that night, but she did.
Ah.
Oh, that's
Why
right.
it's still on the agenda here.
That's right, I see. Okay, very good. So that was, but we did get a communication. She was just shifting her business to a more of a services that rather than a goods kind of a business, doing more branding.
What exactly
And
is that
events, I
business?
think.
What is her business? Plants and,
It was art,
She's a graphic designer kind of
supplies and
person.
those kind of
and then
things.
she's got a retail shop?
Yeah, it's right in the Quo
I
Vadis
drove by it yesterday.
Plaza, yeah, exactly, yeah. So that communication came in and mission accomplished there, I guess. Susan sent a letter to the planning board in support of the Lost Fairground project. That meeting happened and
That was a really nice
it
letter.
was approved. It was a good letter.
Yeah, it was.
Good letter, but a lot of grammatical errors.
April Fool.
They approved all three buildings?
Yes, apparently they did. He's the better, they knocked down the number from 307
So,
to.
yeah, it was approved, but not at the original density. It was, the number of units was reduced, I think, from 311 to 275.
Okay.
Percentage of affordable was increased from the state minimum of 25% to 30%, and they.
Why was that? What was the reasoning?
We were, I
I was
mean,
gonna ask, yeah.
what's the reason? We were trying to get a good project in, and they were trying to convince the planning board to vote for them, so.
Negotiating.
Planning board was looking for them to sweeten the deal any way they could. And they also agreed to extend the deed restrictions on half of the affordable units from the 30 years required to 40 years.
What's the number? What's affordable?
So, I could look it up. Affordability for rental units is based on 80% of the area median income. So I can, there's a table that HUD issues that tells you what those income levels are.
So,
Is it for the town or that area?
It is for most of the state of Rhode Island, with the exception of the denser metro areas.
So in our case, that would mean we would have a higher average income in South Kingston than the state.
Not really, because we get mixed in with like 35 other towns. There are only like 4 towns that are included on the different table.
so by going from 30 to 40, how does that benefit the occupants?
Well, the unit stays deed restricted for 10 additional years.
Yeah, but if I'm in, okay, I'm, as a renter,
Yeah,
okay, I was thinking they were owning it.
no.
Okay,
No.
got it.
These are all
I mean, there
only
must
rental?
be
They are all currently proposed to be rentals.
Okay.
one or two
Um,
bedrooms.
They have studio 1 and 2 bedroom units.
Is there a limit on people who buy them?
Nobody's buying it.
Nobody's buying them, they're all rentals.
It's all rental.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was a mix, but,
No, they're all rentals.
So that's a lot.
And it
Yeah.
looks like
yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Almost
the
300.
reduction in
Yeah.
units, we haven't seen a final proposal, we'll see that at preliminary plan, which we expect to get sometime during the summer. But it looks like they may eliminate a building. If you remember, there were a couple of buildings that were much smaller than other ones, so they can eliminate a building and actually create more green space inside of the development, which I think would be a huge benefit to the people living in this.
One more question. Was there any conversation about making sure that they're a year-round rental, like 12-month?
Yes.
So, affordable rentals have to be rented year-round.
That makes sense.
That's not debatable. We really don't have a mechanism to mandate that they rent on a particular set of terms, but they have been pretty adamant from the beginning that they are not targeting student rentals.
Okay.
That
Graduate students.
graduate students,
A different thing.
entry-level staff,
Yeah.
professors, all of that.
But all those folks would want 12-month anyways, so that's
Exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
But, yeah, and investors can't buy them either,
No.
so.
Rentals.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they're rentals, so you don't have to.
All right, thank
Is there
you.
rent control on them?
Well, that's sort of what the affordable
30%
deed
of 'em.
restriction is.
No, I mean, does the rent stay at a certain level through the?
30%
It's
Time.
tied
of
to the
them.
median income.
So the
Oh,
rent,
okay.
the rent will be set for the affordable units. The way it works is you have to qualify by income every time you renew your lease. So your income has to be below whatever that limit is on the HUD table. And I'll pull it up. I'll tell you about it when we get to the end of the agenda. I'll double back and give you the numbers. But your income has to be below that level. Now, that level can fluctuate based on the economy because it's an area median income. If we have an economic boom and everybody's incomes go up, then that rental number is gonna go up. If we have a huge recession and incomes collapse, that number can go way down.
So that's based on the affordable. Or
Right.
what about the other one?
There's no restrictions on the other one.
So that rent can go
Whatever
up
the
every-
market will bear.
They're gonna make up, those
Yeah,
rents will
right.
make up
That'll
for
make
the
up the
affordable.
difference on the
Yeah.
affordable.
Right.
That's it.
Right, and, part of our hope is that, given the location in West Kingston, in an industrial zone, that will help contain the rents, in that area to some degree. I mean, you're certainly not on the beach or, out in God's country.
Main
and,
Street with, where,
There is a train station there, it's public transportation too, which
Right.
will help.
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the affordable thing, pretty much any college student can apply and make it.
I don't think
No.
fall
No,
under their tax,
no,
the
no.
parents
No,
claim them
if-
on taxes
If,
then.
yeah, if
Oh,
you are
so
claimed
they're
as a
saying you're
dependent on
dependent.
somebody else's
Mm.
taxes, you cannot be in an affordable.
If you're emancipated, or if you're, if you're an adult from
Yeah.
the perspective of the federal government, yes, probably.
Got it. So if you're filing your own taxes, essentially.
Yeah, you're filing your own taxes.
Okay, you're under your parents. Okay.
But if that's the case, you probably also have a job, and so you would legitimately be sort of like
Correct.
workforce in town.
Gotcha.
I'm curious to see what affordable is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at the end of the meeting, we'll get that.
Yeah, let's circle back to it
Yeah.
at the
Let's,
end.
any further on loft? Terrific. Workforce housing, it's a good thing. The letter to the council on the Old Tower Hill Road project was sent. Did we get together
Yeah. we-
Yeah, emergency
to
meeting.
Yeah.
approve that? Great, super. And that all went, and
Any feedback on that?
I have not heard any feedback on it at this point, no.
and the meeting is next week, next
Yeah.
Thursday night, I believe.
Yep.
Think so, yeah.
The consultants are coming in. Are we gonna be saying anything or presenting there, or?
So that will depend on how the meeting goes. My understanding is that the meeting is slated for 2 hours, from 7 to 9.
Yeah.
And I think a lot will depend on, how engaged the council is with the consultants in talking about the plan. I'm hoping that whether they wrap that presentation up in 90 minutes and move on to public comment, or extend the meeting beyond 2 hours for public comment, that they allow public comment. And, I hope that you, Mike, or another representative would talk to the letter,
Okay.
if they do allow comment.
Super. I like the AI conversion of that, the video, the transcripts there. That was all cool. Very, very well done. Okay, what's next? SCORE, email versus SCORE Rhode Island Business Series. This one, you have to remind me on what is this about?
This was mail that we received about a program, and the first event was last Saturday. So but it's a series of events.
Okay, for small business.
You got me off my
I
folder looking for
yeah,
LMI stuff, so
I
let
told
me,
you.
oh, wrong one.
Okay, so while you're looking at that, let's talk about the Narragansett EDC is a Washington County EDC Summit. All the EDCs in the county are invited. Several celebrities, got an action-packed, great agenda about planning and economic development, workforce planning, all those kind of things. It's next
Tuesday.
Tuesday evening at 4, I believe.
Who are the celebrities?
Celebrities,
Susan
yeah, I'll be there. They're not celebrities,
Lieutenant
but they're
Governor.
knowledgeable. They're knowledgeable people on economic development and so on. Right?
Lieutenant Governor is one.
They're all the
Didn't you say she was?
all the
gonna be
politicians have
Didn't
been
say that.
invited, according to what Doug told me. But
Somebody said that, not me.
Is that,
yeah,
how long is that meeting?
2 hours.
And where is it?
It's at the Narragansett Town Hall.
It's an hour and a half at Narragansett Town Hall in the Town
Not
Council
politicians.
Chambers.
All right, I could probably do
I'll
that.
tell you what it is.
No,
Presenters
it's on
from Rhode
Fifth
Island
Avenue.
Commerce, Department of Labor and Training, Commerce Corporation. That seems to be it.
Okay, so, yeah, so if you go down like Central Avenue, the roads that run parallel to Pier, and when you're on your way into
Just
Narragansett,
look it up.
Fifth Avenue is a turn off of there.
I would, but I don't have my phone.
Yeah, you know where the ice company is?
Got it, right there.
Close to there, yeah, close to the ice company. So, any interest in attending?
I'll try to make it.
I'm probably gonna have to go because I know the guy.
Doug, yeah, Warren? Might try to make it.
He says
enthusiastically. Maybe.
So-
So we could tell him, I'll answer him back to maybe 4 or 5 people.
So that's it, it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Even real late.
So to go back to the SCORE thing, Mike, this
Yes.
is a series of presentations at the Providence Public Library.
That other thing.
They're Saturdays from 9 to 11:30. The first one was on business fundamentals and business planning. The second one, which is this weekend, is on marketing. then they have one on sales, financial management, small business funding, and creating your own business plans.
Can we get that to do the chamber at a different time? Just invite the same thing. Providence on Saturday morning. I'm out.
Good, you could teach it. Okay, so that's good to know about.
Letters of Congress.
Letter from the Narragansett EDC, this is the
No, that's what we
invitation we already
talked
talked about.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, this letters to Congress supporting town grant applications for Wakefield projects.
That's what we did last Monday.
You guys wrote those letters for us, we signed them, apparently approved them at a meeting, and they got sent, and we had the second senator, White House.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did, so 2 senators plus the congressman. We haven't heard anything back, but those were good to do, and those are.
Well, we weren't gonna, those were in support of a grant application, so we wouldn't hear anything back.
Okay, super, but
Unless
there's
the grant-
two
So, yeah.
projects,
Yes.
major.
Both dealing
Issues.
with Main Street and Wake. Main
One
Street.
is one a Safe Street upgrade to make is it the High Street corner there, or is that what they're talking
whole
about?
Main Street.
One is, I think, just for overall facelifting on Main Street with street furniture and stuff like that.
Curb, the
And
curbs.
some road improvements, and the other one is for the parking lot.
In the
Storm-
back.
Yeah.
Stormwater.
Okay,
Yeah.
stormwater, that's
Yeah.
right, I saw that. Yeah, those are great, I hope we
Yeah.
can get some money on that.
Yeah.
No stop signs, no traffic lights. All right, just asking, just asking.
Cool, all right, so that's it on correspondence. Ian, you have a stop?
No. I got dispensation from this evening, so please continue.
Okay, super, okay, because we do want to talk about the home show.
Yep.
Coming up. At South County Hospitals is a big sponsor of that, and sounds like it's gonna be a pretty interesting program, and I'd like us to talk about promoting it, so we'll do that during new business. All right, so the old business, EDC surveys. How are we looking with the South County Hospital survey? We sent it out, we
Please tell
got
me
some.
you got some responses. We did send it out.
And we have,
Pull it up.
I didn't see if there was responses, sorry.
Okay, I can pull it up right now.
okay,
Just a question for Ian. With the talk about the medical school, what's the thinking in terms of the location? Would it be Providence or here?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that. South County Hospital, we do have some kind of, I guess you can say, cross-pollination between board members versus South County and URI. So I know there are kind of discussions about whether we can, increase the residency. How many?
129.
Oh,
Wow,
cool.
that's
pretty
awesome.
good.
Okay, so it worked.
That's very good.
Yeah, but we are kind of having discussions about whether South County Hospital could be, a teaching location for med students as well as some additional residency spots, given the med school's future focus on primary care as well as community medicine. So hopefully more to come on that, but we are having those discussions.
That's great.
How many employees do you have?
About 1,500 now.
1,500?
Bumps up a little bit in the summer, closer to 1,600, but
That would be
10%?
great for the hospital
yeah, absolutely.
and the community.
Especially if it expands.
And the community.
Yeah.
As long as we can keep some doctors
That'd be a
here.
nice
Yeah.
Right.
hook up with URI.
Yeah.
Should be.
That's the plan,
Yeah.
hopefully.
So I don't
Because they
know.
got the pharmaceutical school.
Got pharmacy,
pharmacy,
you've
very
got
big.
Yeah, I don't know
Medical
board
device.
members, so I don't know like actual inside baseball, but the vibe at URI is that people believe that it would be co-located in the Kingston campus because the pharmacy's there, because the nursing's there. It would make sense to sort of try to keep all of that localized.
Makes sense.
yeah.
You've got
But they could change their minds, they could do something else, like, I don't know anything more than y'all do, but people
Gotta-
think it would make sense to keep it all together.
you got a real good center of science there,
Yeah.
especially in the last 15 years.
Yeah, and especially biomedical science.
Yeah, right. So,
Super, excellent. So we're gonna take a look at this and report out on it.
What was that?
I'll do something too right now. I'm thinking through everything.
Okay.
Do a quick report and we can review it.
All right.
But yeah, that's a lot of data.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah,
Super.
really good.
So,
Good
and
problem to
then
have.
Yeah.
So did we ever send it to the university? Wasn't the idea that it would go?
Absolutely.
To the
We
hospital
would go
heads?
through it, see what the results are here, how well it worked, and then we would go to the university, which is a sore subject for me, but once we get to, because we asked them to attend our meetings, they have to come to a single one, you know, and, so, which, I don't care about that, but at least, you know, they could review the minutes. And so I guess what we ended up getting out of this is a point of contact. So we can make a point of contact now, and I think we'll go over there and we will have a meeting with them. I'll set that up now since we've got
Yep.
results here. We'll
What's
set up
the-
a meeting.
Is
And
it-
we'll
Remember
tell-
Kim Stack?
Pardon?
Kim Stack, she worked for URI. She was pretty like, I forget what she did, but she seemed to be like the community
She was the
person.
young woman, right?
What was she?
She was a younger one. She came out to 2 of the meetings here, right?
Nah, she was. I mean, nah, she wasn't younger. She was older than me.
Well, holy shit.
You're thinking of
Older
a
than
different.
I was like, I don't know how to answer this one because
Be careful, be careful.
I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, who am I going to insult here?
Video's on.
Lauren,
No, she was on the board of the chamber.
Oh,
Yeah, for URI. She was a URI person, but whoever took her job, she was very active in the community. So I don't know. I think she stepped down, and then whoever took her job is probably the contact we want.
Well, who was the woman who did come from URI a couple of times?
so I'm trying to remember her name. She's
Carolyn, maybe is.
She's a recent graduate. I could look it up, but the primary contact there, who the president delegated this to, was Lauren Burgess. She's the community relations and legislative affairs. She works for Parlange. And she came to the meeting and
Oh,
she
she's
was
the one.
very good. The other guy that we talked to is the president of the North Kingstown Town Council. His name is Dino. He's a cool guy too.
There's a VP of research, but that goes way back, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, that's
Fisher
right.
or something, Paul Fisher or something.
It's a woman now that
No.
is heading
Oh.
up research.
Okay.
I did talk about centering that relationship with her, but they decided to do community relations. Who does community relations and legislative affairs at University of Rhode Island?
It's Lauren Burgess. and
Lauren
Becca
Burgess.
Carroll.
Lauren Burgess, and who is?
Becca Carroll.
Becca is, works for Lauren,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, Becca's the one who came.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the Charlotte I remember.
Just the show.
Good. So this is a good excuse to get back together with them.
Yes.
I also told Jim Manny that I would get a project management expert to come over and look at project management practices in the town. When they refuse to budget a project management expert in the town, they didn't have the money. I did contact them, they're willing to do it, and I never got back to Jim, so we'll do that probably in the fall. But I think there's a way we could do a quick assessment of project management practices in their IT department. And there's a capability and maturity model for software development, but it also includes project management as the first step of that. And we could rate them as a CMM level 1 practitioner of project management, see where the holes are, the defects, and get them on a program maybe to improve their project management in one little spot, and then they could expand that out to the rest of the town when they're opening the town beach or doing a highway project or whatever, right?
Well, my humble comment is all they need to do, Project Manager 101, is think schedule. It seems everything they do is just, we're gonna do this without any idea of when it's gonna be completed.
Yeah, so I had a really good friend, we were meeting at a secret meeting in Boston to go take over this big company, and he's a Brit, and he said, I think we need a schedule. I said, wow,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right after I take
No,
over.
he was absolutely right. It was about that era, actually. He became a really good friend of mine, but anyway.
Let's have a look at the organogram. Remember,
The
the Brits, yeah, instead of an org chart,
Organogram, I like that.
organogram.
I'm gonna use that. Okay, so good. So we got some good progress on the surveys. the rezoning, we've got the 4-9 meeting. Any further discussion? We're gonna plan to possibly present the letter, if time. Anything further on old business? Okay, new business. This is coming out of left field, and Jerry asked me to talk about this, so I went over and I talked to him. And he's a globetrotter. He's been around the world, and he's ended up going to a garden show in England.
Apparently, he's got 3, I'm sorry.
A really cool garden show, all right? And I started to think about, agriculture is a big business around here.
It is.
And there's a school that has quite a bit of agricultural stuff there. We have a big landscaping footprint here. There's a lot of people in that business. And we've got some huge nurseries like Farmer's Daughter and Clark's and so forth, that this could be an idea that could service a segment of the economy that we've never even considered looking at. So I thought it was worth maybe approaching from that point. And if we're interested, after Jerry tells us a little bit more about it, maybe we'd want to do some kind of a survey or canvassing of those businesses to see if they're interested in getting something going. So that's how it came about.
Yeah. I think the discussion really started with, what is the charge of the Economic Development Committee for the town? And you had said to me that we can help businesses and promote businesses within the community. So I'm actively involved in one of my projects in my business is taking plastic and removing plastic with agricultural growers and propagators by using paper pots replacing plastic. And we're using paper in its weed barriers in Mexico when they're growing cantaloupes or strawberries and things like that. And the paper's been tested for about 6 years at the University of Florida. So it has no resins. It's replacing the plastic weed barriers that people put down. We're using paper ties instead of plastic and wire. And I recently, when I missed February's meeting, I was in Holland, and I worked with a distributor who's the largest distributor in Europe, and they're like chomping at the bit to use paper pots to propagate plants versus plastic. And they're obviously much bigger on the eco side of everything in Europe. Everything has a regulation for that now. So then I started talking with Mike about what we can do, and this garden show, which is in London, is called the Chelsea Garden Show. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, and it's a pretty popular show. And my wife and I attended. We actually joined a couple of years ago to be able to get in a day early before the crowds go in, and we became a member. And I was really impressed with how they did it. So I've been thinking about what we could do in our community, where we have the University of Rhode Island, we have the agricultural school there. We also have the marine campus, the Bay campus. And seaweed fertilizer is a big thing in the growing area, the agricultural sector. Oysters, which we have abundance of, is used for fertilizer. So then I started thinking, we have URI right in our backyard. Why can't we maybe try to create a concept where we could have a flower show or garden show? And what we would do, it would be structured where we would have people who are either landscape architects or landscapers who will have to get a sponsor to pay for all the materials. They would go into this field where we would set up at URI, and they would create their garden, whatever that garden purpose would be. Maybe it's a water garden, maybe it's a garden that you just want to go in and just have a little bit of peace, or you want shade garden, and they can do all these various different types of gardens. Then we can draw in the URI Garden Club to be the judges of the gardens and who would win certain prizes.
Does URI have a garden club?
Oh, yeah.
They do?
or the masters.
The Masters
Oh,
Gardeners.
Master
Gardeners.
Gardeners.
Yeah,
Okay.
And,
Oh.
and then I think what we would do is, it's gonna bring together people who are masons, who are doing walls, people who are doing trees, who are growing trees, vegetables, plants, everything like that, and it all could be, brought together. I'm just kind of giving you a broad stroke here, but, and then I think once the thing is done, it's a weekend thing, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then when the show is over, who's ever won first, second, and third gold, those gardens may be sent over to somewhere in the community, whether it could be the hospital, it could be a meditation garden at the hospital, and it just would be put back together at the hospital. And then the people who did that would get a little bit of notoriety, and the architect who put it together. And then we have the turf people, we have masons, we have growers, we have a lot. People who are doing organic growing plants. And that's a big thing. And I think gardening is a big thing, and it's a good form of relaxation. I know it's not one of your popular hobbies, but it's becoming bigger and bigger. And I think everybody is concerned about the food they eat today, growing organic food, no pesticides. And I think we can bring a lot of people within our community together to be behind something like this.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it could be a very nice event, but done very nicely.
So it doesn't, this has what bearing on reality? This is somebody's idea?
Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when it says,
Copying, maybe something's been
okay,
done somewhere
okay,
else.
so when it says back here that it would be held in May or June, it's not that,
My suggestion.
that's your
is the best
schedule
time.
idea, and it's not necessarily.
Schedule?
It's your schedule, it's not necessarily.
Well, I think
for
May and
2026.
June would be optimal because that's when
Yeah,
plants
yeah,
are
no,
starting.
I just didn't know whether, I just,
What's a schedule?
The schedule.
so URI, they have an annual plant sale anyway, so this seems like a very natural extension to that.
And I think in getting the university involved, like the Bay campus,
Yeah, you're gonna need to get a lot of them involved to
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
because it's gonna take a lot of people.
this is certainly a
It's a-
major
it's a
project. This
very-
is not
Yeah.
this is a major undertaking.
I was gonna ask you.
But could be a tremendous benefit to the community.
Who would manage the whole enterprise? Would it be a paid person or somebody pulled out of the
You know,
organization?
Tom, I didn't get that.
So
from you.
here's where this kind of,
I don't know.
this is where this
The
is sort of
seed
hit the road.
has been
See,
planted.
Jared was thinking that we were like a incorporated business development organization. And I told him Heartache and River City is, all we do is give free advice to the town council. That's it. That's our entire benefit. However, the Main Street USA is, one of the outgrowths of that is to form a nonprofit that could raise funds to pay people to execute programs. So, that's sort of where that's heading, and so there's a possibility to create some kind of a
But it's-
organization that can
it's work-
sponsor this kind of thing.
It's work just to raise the funds, so then you need
yeah.
the volunteers I did this for years, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, with, you mean your
Did Main Street, I
Your
did it on Main
activities, yeah.
Street with the
Yeah.
Village Association.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm on the board of the Rhode Island Wild Plant Society, and we have a plant sale, 2 of them.
Yes.
Now, in May and then in September. They are, that's just a sale of seedlings,
understand.
and it is.
Yeah.
Madness, right? Is it big?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
URI's is huge too.
Yeah, you are, yeah, and we have in the past, we got, I think the Wild Plant Society can take credit from pushing Master Gardeners from a non-organic position to an organic position, maybe 10 or 12 years ago. We had a memorandum of understanding with them, and I think we got them to be more interested in.
So is it like a show with booths and
Yeah,
people come and
yeah,
do pop-up
yeah,
tents? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the show's really, you just gotta get it's almost like a farmer's market.
No.
Well, you're not selling it, but I'm
different.
saying like, you need people to come, like
Correct.
Field of Artisans kind of concept,
Yeah.
set up their booth, so you're not supplying any of the entertainment or anything like that. You're just calling on people, but yeah.
But you said.
I mean,
that-
I think you're gonna have like a section that would be show gardens, all right? People who are gonna participate and create a garden. And then that's an experience for people to view and enjoy. And then there could be another part of the show where plants you have for sale. It could be people who are,
Well, the Wild Plant Society's interest is in native plants.
I'm not sure, Susan, what type of plants. I'm just saying there would be a section that people would be able to purchase plants.
The
right? It's
landscapers would have a booth,
May and June.
you know, the landscapers would run a
Yeah.
booth, the nurseries would run a booth, you know, the.
I mean,
Say a
it's
booth, I'm
It's a
thinking,
good,
wouldn't
it's a
it
good
be in the
concept,
field?
so.
Yeah.
He's talking about gardens, and you're talking about a sale.
What's that?
I think it's all tied together. I think
Yeah,
part
you
of the
can
show
have
is
plants.
plants for sale,
bring in
people
plants for
doing
sale,
demonstrations.
and-
It's
right.
like going to a home show.
Exactly,
So-
yeah, which is
somewhat
coming
like
up,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good term.
There's a garden show.
I mean,
So-
and you can draw in people who are.
And then you gotta hope like the big vendors, like the big names in the industry will like sponsor it and pay. for it.
Exactly right. You would have to tap into like Farmer's Daughter or Clark Farms to get some support.
No, bigger than that.
Yeah.
You need to get like
Well, they're suppliers.
national.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're suppliers.
Well, the guys that sell grass to the horse race shows.
I mean, you can bring,
Sign 'em
in-
up.
you could do a lot with it.
Guys, right?
I mean, you could do a lot with it. You could do a lot with it.
So how would you ever start something like this, right? I mean, how would you get it off the ground?
Gotta start a committee. You gotta get. I mean, if you don't have paid employees, you gotta get a bunch of volunteers, and
No
then
doubt.
you gotta micromanage the volunteers. And
So would it be, always fall back on this, but would it be worthwhile to do a survey of those landscapers?
it might be a good idea to just go to URI because they have paid employees that. There might be somebody or something over there that might be able to take this idea and run with it.
That's a good
I
thought.
think would probably be the best bet, because I don't think, I mean, I know that it's a lot of work.
Like
No
organically
question.
growing the plants that they already have into something closer to this.
No, I mean, finding the resources at URI to say, hey, we came up with a great idea, blah, 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 and sell them on the idea and say, are you guys willing to take this and run with it? We can
Where are
kind of
gonna
give
cite
you,
it?
this is how you should do it. Here you go, run with it, kind of thing, and still play a part of it. But I don't think anybody in this room is willing to put all that time into. This is
Now,
I would put time into it
it's a
myself,
lot of
personally.
time, especially the first year.
Of course. It's
a
not,
full-time
this is
job.
more than a year away.
have you been in touch with anybody at UR yet? No, okay.
So we're gonna.
I mean, they could tap into interns or kids that are learning.
Sure.
It could become a class that it becomes a project and they have to do it.
Right.
It could be.
Right.
I'm just saying, you got to try to find.
I mean, like I
The
said, this
people.
is just a talking point.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm just.
So,
That I thought,
no, it's good, it's a
Oh,
great
wow,
idea.
sure.
It's a great idea.
Like a one pager with the, I mean, you have, that's pretty simple, but it's like an untapped, or it's like a silent industry that we have, I think is what you're saying. It's like a
Yes,
silent,
yes, that's
fast-growing
right.
Industry, and especially with white collar jobs getting slaughtered, and continue to get slaughtered.
I mean, just think of this, Randy, is people could come from Massachusetts, Connecticut, as it gets
and New
bigger
York.
and bigger, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people he's a mason, he did the walkway and the walls.
Yeah.
You know, who's that guy? That guy picks up work, you know? Or the turf farms, people recognize that maybe they didn't realize that we have a lot of turf farms. And then there's a lot of people that I talk to locally that are either harvesting seaweed, making fertilizer out of it. We have so much oyster shells, and that's just a simple mix with another chemical that's used for fertilizer, and it's very good. So there's a lot of, you know, I think what I like the most about it is the concept of whoever wins, you know, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3, but those gardens get put back into the community, you know?
It's sustainable.
And it would be a great thing for the hospital. Just that big open area where you walk in near the elevator banks is just concrete, really.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
So
Okay.
I think do you want a list of people I know who are in this? I mean, Do you want a list of people you might go and talk to, like at URI and?
Sure.
Yeah, you could do that, and I'll take the action to look at the organization, try to figure out where I
Susan,
might
you can give me
penetrate.
those. I'd
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll even go with you if you'd like.
And you could pencil us in for some type of sponsorship, not the whole thing, of course, but
Yeah, yeah.
it definitely appeals to the demographic that the hospital treats.
I'm
so-
thinking Washington Trust,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bank Rhode Island.
I mean, I have a little background in this stuff. I'll sit down with you.
That would be great, Ken.
I know I think one of the master greenskeepers or arborists at URI, friendly with him, he's like, have whalers all the time.
I think if you can get URI and get one of the classes and make it like a project for that, for the
A
kids or
collaboration is
something.
what I'm envisioning, you know? And.
Because the budget even to do this is
Oh, yeah.
very, it's a lot.
That's why I said in the beginning, you need sponsors.
Yeah.
Super.
Would this be an expo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, seems like,
Because like it's changed, I mean, the history of expos have done wondrous things to, to hurting economies for what it's worth.
You know, but the other thing too is you have a lot of small businesses that are doing things like the fertilizer out of seaweed and they're selling it and this could become bigger and bigger, you know?
Well, I'm curious.
And everybody is really into organic gardening today.
Well, if you
I
can
know.
pull in the blue economy into it, that's really interesting.
another
If you're
angle.
mixing.
Aquaculture.
Yeah,
is-
no
it's
doubt.
all,
And then you can have, and this is why it might be a good idea, like what you're saying, is have people do, there could be people from URI that would be able to give a quick 30-minute thing about what fertilizer, what this does.
Yeah, little seminars
How to
and-
organ, you know, all that could be, you know, something enjoyable for a lot of people.
super.
Well, we
is it a
have
dry
because-
campus? Not anymore, right?
Hmm?
It's not a dry campus anymore, is it?
No, it still is.
I think
It
it
is?
is.
Officially, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sell kombucha. It'll fit the
You
You know, that-
sell.
Where I went to college,
distribute.
the fraternities are privately owned, but they're on campus too, as far as like, you know, dry and all that. Yeah. But there's ways. You thinking of the beer concession there?
I was thinking,
Good.
people like,
You gotta have food.
people like to
Gotta
go,
have
like you
food.
go to the home shows, like everything you go to, it's, you know, people are walking around with a beer, it's part of the draw, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
definitely.
yeah,
Food
you
would
don't
have to be
have-
part of it. Food
I
would
missed
have
the
to be
book
part
get
of it.
show.
whalers and,
Friday, it was Friday, I think.
You bring
Wow.
all those people
At
in.
the
yeah.
Sons of
trucks.
Liberty.
Oh,
Every year they have a book show, it's not adult books, adult
Oh,
adult show.
Mike.
It's adult.
Now we're
It's a
talking
book show for
entertainment.
adults.
Taking a
That's
turn.
that's how
What's
they-
your professional name? Gagus.
That's what they call it. But anyway, they have
Tiffany.
authors there and all that kind of
Tiffany's.
stuff. And I was out of town. I missed the darn thing. But
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
all right,
All right, order.
are we back to okay? So just to quit on a good note, Susan, if you could put a list of contacts together, that would be great. I will start researching who to talk to over at URI as well. If you can start on the kind of the sales pitch, maybe we could get for the next meeting to
Sure.
a dry run of that
Or invite somebody here.
and have them
Yeah.
preview it for us. Give us some input. That'd be great. All right, super.
I think you probably have to start with what, the president?
yeah.
All right, make sure they're down for it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I
Someone
don't,
from
I
the
mean, we
office
could
or-
call him, but I don't think that's where I'd start. I think you need, I mean, no, I think we need to start with Rebecca Brown and Master Gardeners and,
I mean, it falls under insurance and.
Yeah, let's.
yeah, oh, yeah,
we'll
yeah, but
bring-
that's
Yeah.
way down the
We'll
line.
bring them in, but we're
I'm
certainly.
just saying, make sure they're on board before you do any work, like to even post something like this. Don't even start reaching out to people until you find out URI actually is willing to do it.
Oh, no, I think you have to have a better concept, with all due respect to what we've got at the moment. You have to have a
Absolutely.
clearer idea of what you're asking for.
Absolutely, but.
That's not what that's for.
Yeah.
That's for you
Yeah.
and us here.
He can sharpen the
Yeah.
pencil
Explore
on that, but
concept.
I'm saying,
It's
I
not,
don't think you wanna
pass
reach
out.
out to all these, your people and those people. I think you reach out to URI to make sure it's
Yeah.
something that's.
That's
Don't
where
worry.
you want it to
Don't
be.
in the
worry.
wheelhouse
Don't
that they
worry.
wanna
We'll go
do
in from the
before
top.
you-
We'll go in from the top. We just want to get a sponsor that's going to tell us how to do that, and we'll talk to Mark Barlage. That's what I did to get a liaison. Also, I sent Barlage an email, he sent me back.
He'll talk to us.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
talk to, Mark will talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, super, great, excellent, Jerry, thank you. So, we're gonna go back to the survey.
I'll give you my comments.
Okay.
I think the best way. Let's play musical chairs, Kurt.
Okay.
Move over there.
Thank you.
Are we going down there?
You go this way. That angle wasn't very good. All right.
Kurt, can you see it okay?
Yeah, I think I'll have to point and show you things. We'll just look at graphs. I think that'll be the best way.
That's good.
So the summary is 129 responses, 84 people answered whether they live in South Kingstown, if possibly 51. 61% said yes or maybe. Housing cost is a dominant barrier. It was selected 62 times ahead of inventory constraints, and property taxes was there. So if we look at the so this one here is saying housing costs too high. 62 responses. Right next to that is not enough inventory, followed by taxes being too high. And then below that's family reasons here, school systems, lifestyle, and then limited transportation at the very bottom. So I think the key thing is we know housing's too high, it's super high. We know inventory is low, but then taxes obviously being an issue as well. How do taxes work if, say you get a house affordable, do you still pay the same taxes based upon an assessment? Do you know how that works?
I
Anybody?
think yes, but I think the town has ways of like easing folks that are under a certain threshold.
Okay. We don't need to know the answer. I'm just purely curious because that would remain an issue if that's not the case.
The state has a rebate program if you're under 40 grand a year. But
Yeah.
This one's really interesting. I think we're all very curious. This is commute length. So right now, 31 are less than 10 minutes, and this is all to
31
the hospital.
31
Right?
people.
31 respondents.
31 responded, so
Uh-huh.
24%. 45% are 11 to 30 minutes, which 30
That's
minutes
not
would be up to Westerly to
Yeah.
EG. I guess Warwick actually. Warwick would be
Yeah,
30
well,
minutes, right?
yeah.
So Warwick to Westerly. And then 21% in the 50-minute mark, which could push you all the way out to Providence. So I was shocked that many people are within
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
not bad.
surprising.
Yeah.
You know.
So a lot of people in Narragansett.
So demand to live in South Kingstown. To complete that, but yes, and maybe that's what represents almost 60% or 61% of the total is yes, maybe, right? And it's large numbers said no, they don't want to live here, which is I was kind of surprised by that.
Wait, are these, who was polled? Workers
From
or
the
residents?
Employees.
Oh, so,
Employees.
okay.
This is all hospital.
Gotcha, okay.
Responses
So
do
the-
you think you sent out?
And
Well, if they were
like-
residents, then we wouldn't know.
That's why I was wondering, students and shit.
And a question like this was only being given to people who said they didn't already live in town,
Right.
right? So that's why the number isn't the same as the
Full-
total.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for clarifying that. So that's the housing thing.
Did you just put all that together?
Yeah, well, I was doing well. That's why I
Oh,
couldn't talk because I was.
With a little help from AI, I would say.
Yeah, I was trying to
Just a little.
focus,
little help from
So
friends.
this is another interesting thing is this is what people said they could pay, and there's another really valuable thing here which I think for the town is super important, which we'll get to. But the 2,000 to 2,500 range is pretty high up there
Per month for.
Per month for
Housing?
housing. Yeah,
Okay.
this is saying what's in their budget for housing.
Okay.
This is the 1-bedroom range, right?
How much is it?
1,000 to 15.
1,500.
So this is 1,000 to 1,500. This is 2,000 to 2,500, and everything else is above that range.
And this is what they
This is what they pay?
No, this is what they
are willing to
Could
pay.
afford, yeah.
yeah, what they could afford to pay, what they're willing to pay per month. And then below this is
What's the right end there on the
it's $3,000 plus.
3+?
So this is 2,500 to 3,000, and then 3,000 plus is in this range. So only a few at a 3,000 plus.
Okay.
What product are they demanding? I think this is a really good one. Is 78% saying single-family homes. So when they're proposing 80 single units along the river, that doesn't make much sense when that's not the demand. So that's a valuable thing to provide to developers for what it's worth.
What are they demanding?
Single-family
Single-family
homes.
housing.
As opposed to condos.
But that's how many is this out of the whole 129?
This is out of a
right,
total
Not
exactly.
happening.
Yeah, it's arithmetic doesn't
of the
work.
people who want to come down. So
Yeah.
that's 51.
Yeah, so it's a lesser number than the 120, whatever it was. who
correct.
applied.
These are only people interested in living here.
Okay.
That don't already.
That don't already, or, yeah.
Yeah, so of that pie is 78% demand single-family homes,
Wow,
which is that's high.
yeah.
But it's a small group.
Family size is in there too?
It's 40 responses.
There's not a single house on inventory under like
Yeah.
$600,000 in all of South Kingstown right now, just to give you an idea.
Mhm.
So building
There's only
building
500 in the whole
apartments.
state.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, really?
Really?
500 in the state?
It's because everybody from New York's seeing the new taxes and they just.
I think there's only like
everything that goes in the market, they buy.
1,000 or 1,200 inventory in the whole state right now. There's no inventory.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just
Crazy.
saw one on Rodman Avenue for $675.
This is.
Oh, yeah,
This is timing
bedroom,
moving.
two bath.
This is, I mean, kind of for what interests I have. I think its timing would line up to like projects. Is that within a year? Most people want to move within a year. Not planning the move is the highest number. Is this big chunk? That's 31%. But within 6 months, 16%. Within a year, 30%. Within 2 years, 16%, and then 2 years or above is 8%. Let's go on to the age. The average age here, I mean, it's kind of all over the place,
It
but
is.
the highest number is 55 to 64, followed by 35 to 44. But these are pretty high. So this is under 25, 25 to 34, 35 to 44. 40.
And these are the
Yeah.
people who took the survey, right?
Right.
Mhm.
This
Which-
is the full number then.
Yeah, the full number.
And this is, to be clear, people who work at the hospital.
Correct.
Yep.
So these are folks who are like near retirement age, still
Right.
work at the hospital. Look, oh, is this the entire group or just the people moving to town?
Entire.
The
Entire
entire.
group.
Okay.
Entire group.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So some of them that live in town already might be in that group.
Yeah, it'd probably be good to cross-reference that
Yeah.
data.
If you get the CSV, we can figure that out.
Here's another, I think, really important key point. So we know all the data. There's no PII. There's no personal information. Everything was obfuscated. So this report we could send around. I mean, we'll send it to you. You can verify that. But everything's been removed. So, but this is the average salaries, the salary ranges for the respondents. So 27% in the 90 to 135K range.
Is that family income, income per household, or?
It's income. I think it's by individual. Maybe.
Is that, if it's by individual, for two
That's an
incomes?
important-
Yeah, we
can
That's
check
an
the
important
question.
distinction. Let me just check.
Yeah.
What is your current annual household?
So it is household.
Household, which is
Yeah.
yeah.
That
So-
makes more sense.
So of the lot, which lines up above, the only way you could get into, say, a 600K house right now, you have to be above this 150 range.
And how many selected that? Is that 8?
8.
Yeah.
16% of the response for that question, which is 8. But the majority are in this range, and this is household. So
Yeah.
And that's still only 14.
Affordability is the key issue.
yeah.
And what is what's the range of the peak there?
The
big-
range
big
of the
bar.
peak is 90 to 135.
90 to 135 households.
And then
For household.
and here is 135 to 170, above 170 over here, and number 8. And I think we chose these numbers based upon what it would take to acquire a loan to.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's how we ended up basing these numbers, was like loan ticks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
No inventory because of high interest rates, right? Nobody wants to
They
buy
just
new
went up
place
a
and
half
refinance.
Just
They
went up
wanna
a
keep
half
their
a point
mortgage,
in the
yeah.
last month.
They'll keep their mortgage.
Oh, like houses aren't staying on the market, Mike.
6.5.
Oh, then
not
if
for
you- yeah,
30-year
I know,
fixed.
I know.
6.5.
People don't wanna get a new house because the rates are so high.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was to sell my house, where am I gonna go? Not,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Rhode Island. you
Yeah.
know? This is another really interesting one is the current housing scenario. 70% own right now. So
Wow.
of all the respondents, the majority of them own, with 20% renting.
Probably aligns with the older demographics.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that there's no rental housing,
Yes.
it's a combination of the two.
But that's the entire cohort, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So even people who don't live in town. So there are places that do have
Are you
more rental
struggling
units.
Yeah.
to find employees over there?
Um,
Or is that getting
you know, it's gotten a lot better. Yeah, we have a very low vacancy rate. I think it's only like 6% right now, which is
Okay.
just crazy.
That's great.
coming out of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good data,
Wow.
great data. So
So
this,
how long ago did it go out? When did you send it out? Do you know?
Probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I can't
So-
remember. I sent an email to let you guys know the day it went
So
out.
it's,
Yeah, I
that's
saw the
probably,
email.
that's
So a good month
probably,
ago.
that's
Yeah.
probably as many people as going to respond.
Yeah.
that's what you
Yeah,
said you
yeah, yeah,
figured
we're done-
too.
we're
You'd
done.
be- I think you said you'd be surprised if 100 responded.
If you
Yeah.
get a 20% open click, that's amazing.
130?
Yeah, so almost 10%.
Yeah, it's like 10%. It's pretty
So
good.
That's about standard, right?
Not only they open it, they responded.
Yeah.
URI,
They filled
this
out most of
hasn't
the
gone to
survey.
URI yet.
Right, so this
Not
is
yet.
really good information, right? So it'd be worth it to scale this to URI now.
But I mean, there aren't too many surprises there, right? I mean, affordability,
Right.
you know,
It
taxes.
removes the conjecture now, right? So
Yeah,
we have
correct.
some source of evidence. Yeah, there's always
Right.
going to be bias associated with the survey, but at least we have some data.
Right.
Yeah, so let's just talk about what to do with the report and the data. How should, I can export the report and delete all the names and emails on the data set. I can send it to, send you the
Redacted.
report. I have a PDF, I have a document, I have an XSL of all the
Mhm.
graphs, and I have the data set. So I can send it to you and you distribute, or what's the?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, that way you guys can touch base. You want to do different cohorts, that's probably.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
can cross-reference certain things if you have the actual raw data.
Yeah.
Distribute to who you think?
Oh, to this team. I
To
mean,
us.
We,
Okay.
I can't send it to you. I
Okay.
have to send it.
All right.
To Brian.
Yeah,
All right.
Brian or Brian send it
We
out.
probably want to take a look at it, and we probably want to draft some kind of a preliminary,
I think
We
an
wanna-
official
we wanna-
thing we
Report
send to
that
We want to
says-
thank the hospital for sending it out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the council did express an interest in seeing this, so if
Right.
we pull together a report, we should send it to them.
yeah, brief,
Yeah.
just a
I'll send
preliminary.
it to you to send out. I think
Yeah.
by next meeting, we should approve something to send to the town council, right?
Yeah.
I think I like that idea.
Yeah, I think we should, I
Summarize
think
it.
we should not send this right away. I think we should think a little bit more about making sure it's clear.
Mhm.
Yes.
And am I good to send the data to Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
And-
Ryan.
No, well, it's
Oh.
in Ian to like individually.
Yeah, so I mean, after you
Do you
take a
want me
pass
to-
at, removing any of the identifying information that people elected to include in that,
Yeah.
I'm happy to take a look at it, and then I can give the go-ahead and.
All right, so you'll copy him on the email out?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
And I will not send to you directly.
Excellent, well done, guys.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good.
great.
And thank you.
Very exciting.
Yeah, happy to help.
Yeah.
Anything
Be
you
sure
guys
you
need.
write to that South County Hospital and thank them. I don't know.
I can pass along the word.
Okay.
It stayed within my office, so it's all
Okay,
good.
okay.
But we
All
did
right.
have support. I did bring it to the executive leadership team before it was sent
Yeah,
out,
well,
and
I
everyone
think,
was
I think
generally
we should.
supportive.
We'll
I
copy
think-
them on what we sent
Yeah,
to the.
yeah, they should
to the
know. We
county
appreciate
council.
what, that they helped us.
And we'll tell them we appreciated it.
And as Ken mentioned, like the response rate is actually pretty amazing. Like,
9%'s really good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So, yeah. The policy implications of that are amazing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I told you my story about living in, I rented an apartment in the Bay Area, on the bay, with a marina, outside the door. 2-bedroom, 10 years ago, $4,000 a month, right, for the last year. Okay? And these kids are walking through there to rent these places out. I talked to the sales, what are these kids doing here? He goes, oh, they work at Google. They get a $1,500 a month stipend to live within 15 miles of campus, right? More hours at work, more, less commute. Aside from the fact that they had like 40 buses going back and forth to San Francisco where everybody else wanted to live, and everybody was complaining about that. And that's how they did it. They put 2 people in one place, the company gives them the stipend. I think we should suggest that to the town council for our employees, the town employees who could live in town, for example.
Yeah, more taxpayer
I
dollars.
was gonna say,
Where do we
another
get-
tax dollars.
Hey.
Come on.
But where do we get that money? Where do we get that money?
Mike.
You're killing me, Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
So where do we get that money to do that?
Or one of the interesting is
We're in
or
search
incentivize
engine,
the
yes.
external work.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the.
Brian doesn't mind that idea.
brought up was to bring more income in, is
Yeah.
have remote people, make them excited to live here, like to bring
Oh.
more into the economy.
Yeah. That doesn't help the employers a lot, but.
I mean, we need the housing.
Yeah.
We gotta house the people if they wanna come here, so I mean, this is a good.
Yeah.
But where we at, 750 almost?
New stuff coming
New
on.
units,
No,
Mm-hmm.
750.
267.
You're under 300 more units.
Units.
No, plus the other things that are going on.
Yeah, okay,
You got
total,
other-
no, total, I
Yeah.
thought we were around 500 total, new
That's
new
so-
units.
No, more than that.
For what?
New units.
This one unit,
All
this
the
one
units.
was 3 buildings with 267 each,
Yeah,
right?
Oh, right.
no,
No.
that's the total is 270.
275
Total?
over 5
Yeah.
buildings, yeah.
At the
Ah,
fairgrounds.
I
That's
thought there was
the-
like
So the
300
total
buildings.
new ones here in the area was about 500-ish. I
Yeah.
think it was even a hair under.
Yeah, we got
that.
like the hotel apartments going
Yeah.
in at
All that.
the commons, right?
Right.
No, there's a building for the commons.
That's 100.
Yeah.
I mean, 500's a lot, but I think what do we need to break even with the state goal? I think it was 4,000 units, 4,500.
It's a big
So,
much bigger number than.
We
we're-
took a bite, but it's just a tiny bite out of it.
We're trying to get to 10%.
Well,
right? And
I think
at
we're-
5.
We're at 10, but to get down to 0, we'd need 5,000.
No, we're
No,
not.
no, no. No,
This,
we're at 5.
he's talking
talking
about,
different-
you're talking about different things.
Yeah, okay.
He's talking about affordable housing,
Affordable
and we are at
No.
5%, maybe 4 something.
Yeah.
4%, 4 to 5% of our housing is affordable housing, and
The
goal
tough
is
part is
10%.
construction is so high.
The
It's
state
hard
wants
do
us to be
affordable
10.
housing 'cause
Okay.
it costs
for
so
affordable
much.
housing.
And how many units does that translate to, affordable?
We're at like 475 units, so we need another 500
Gotcha.
affordable units. And the problem is that when you look at that in the picture of creating affordable housing
This gets bigger. than
based on 25% of the housing that's being created,
Yeah.
you then have to create thousands of units
Yes.
to get those 500 additional affordable units.
And on top of that, the
Pe-
ones that you
people
have
are paying it,
coming
though.
off
Those-
of-
all the
coming
ones
off
behind
the
Job
30-year
Lot?
deed, so they're
They're
dropping
like
off
3,000 a
too.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the
right.
same time, you're
Yeah.
adding.
Are you
on.
kidding? The
Yeah.
ones behind
On Holly
3Gs a
Street,
month.
right? Holly?
3,000.
Yeah.
How many 2-bedroom?
And those
1-bath?
duplexes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
2-bedroom baths?
that's
I
not.
don't know exactly what they, I don't know what the footprint, sounds right to me.
Are they all full?
Probably a bath and a half.
They're all rented,
Yeah, they're
Really?
all rented, they're all
This is
full.
behind Holly there?
on Holly.
On Holly.
Brian,
Yeah, if you haven't rented in 10
Should be
years,
here.
you do not like the number.
I haven't.
Let's just put it that way.
Okay, wow. That's
there's
exciting,
a
guys.
couple things too, we superseded a couple things
So-
on the agenda.
Can we have,
Okay.
I think Brian came up with the number that we had asked earlier for the, what the affordable rent
affordable.
was.
Yeah, so, like I said, all affordable rentals are limited to the 80% area median income level. And the rental changes based on the number of people in the unit. So at 80%, one person 80% AMI is based on an income of $64,050 a year.
So, I'm sorry, that's,
64,050.
That's
Is that the
income-
median?
That's the income you have to be.
That's
at
the 80%.
qualified.
so that's the 80% of the AMI
Yeah.
is 64.
Or lower.
64,000 for one
64,000.
person.
Yeah, yeah,
Or lower.
right. That's
If-
low.
If it's two people, it's 73,200. It basically goes up in like $9,000 increments for every person you add to the apartment.
Including dependents.
Yes.
All right.
With dependent, they
So
don't bring
the
any money
kids.
to the
No,
table.
Children.
it's the number of people in the unit.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think like, all right, I make X amount of money, but I have a family of 4. So like, it will get me to that 80% number because
Right.
of my kids.
Right, so if you make X
Yeah,
and nobody else in your household is making money,
yeah.
you, with 3 people to support, you're a 4-person family, so your income qualification goes up to $91,000.
Yeah,
Gotcha, okay.
Now, if you have multiple incomes in the house, it's based on household income, so you
total
combine-
has to be 90.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And what's the rental number? What's their affordable rent?
30,
So it's
usually
based on
30%.
30% of income, and that's supposed to include some amount for utilities as well.
So 90,000 they're at.
So it's
2,700?
that's 30. It's like $3,000 a month.
Max.
I just wanted to point out what affordable
sounds so
was.
silly,
Yep.
man.
No,
Yeah.
it's important to do the math because people say these words and they don't know what it means. And it's like, the guy making $20 an hour is not going to be able to afford this.
Even affordability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at that number.
Yeah.
No, 80% area median income is,
Yep.
still,
Yeah.
Yeah, the math is the math. We're not.
What
we're
was
not mad
one
at you.
person? 80?
$64,000.
60.
80%.
So 1,800, call it $2,000.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what the rents are.
And 60 is a pretty good job, too.
$2,000, 2,500, $3,000.
It is interesting in lieu of what data we just sent out, because it's relative to that.
Yeah.
But, so moving on, did we hit the Main Street cohort yet?
No,
Not yet.
That's
All right,
next.
Let's shift to that.
Kurt.
All right.
Report.
I got a bunch of materials here. I will give some of it to Brian to put into the record. Some of this stuff is sort of extra that I brought specifically to put in the record. So as of today, the South Kingstown Main Street cohort has participated in 3 seminar events, all-day workshops from Main Street, Rhode Island, and like the Main Street USA organization had sent speakers to Rhode Island to talk to all of our cohorts. The first session was on design. It's a little bit of a misnomer. Really, having sat through the workshop, it's really about systems thinking. The idea that how a place looks and how it works, like functionally, is going to influence how people interact with that space. So if you want someone to sit down and eat outdoors, you have to make sure that it's a safe place. You have to make sure that it's like a comfortable place. You have to make sure that it's a, visually appealing place. Like people do things when it makes sense to do them, and you have to sort of like make sure that the space that you provide for them makes sense. So that's sort of like the high level of what the design workshop was about.
Yeah.
The next workshop, which was in February, was about economic vitality, much more focused on direct intervention to the small business community in our Main Street districts. All along the way, the Main Street USA folks are sort of giving sort of nuggets of wisdom from, they've been doing this for decades now, all across the United States. And sort of there's been learnings from things that have worked, things that have not worked, and they're sort of sharing those nuggets. Again, I've got a lot of sort of paperwork from them, and then also the folks in the cohort, there's an online sort of like database of knowledge that we have access to And I think part of the plan is to find a way to share this out with relevant sort of town organizations. I think we've identified that like the Wakefield Village Association is probably like one of the main town associations that's going to benefit most from this Main Street Rhode Island stuff, but possibly also the chamber, and making sure that town council is aware of these resources is also going to be important. Luckily, the cohort from South Kingstown is represented by Jay Wedgemont from town council, Joe Vele from the chamber.
Yep.
We've got, I believe, 2 members of the Wakefield Village Association who are represented on this particular cohort. So we do have a good wide range of folks with different sort of town interests and other association, such that this knowledge is being sort of spread across the town.
And Josh Daly would be, if Peacedale had a group
Yes.
still, Josh Daly would be representing them, but the Peacedale Village Association has kind of fallen on hard times. So he's, part of what he's thinking about is trying to
Yeah.
rejuvenate that a little bit. So Peacedale is also,
And I am proud to say that the cohort is one of the strongest in the state. We consistently, show up with more participation. Like we show up, if not our entire group, we show up 90%, 80% of our group to every session, where other
towns.
other towns, other Main Street districts have sort of lesser participation from their cohorts, and we've even added members effectively to our cohort over the process so far. So we've added. I've reluctantly, Susan has agreed to actually participate, even though she originally did not want to be a participant. We also have Rich Youngkin.
And Nancy,
And
whatever her last name is.
yes,
Who's-
Nancy from
the Rotary.
the Rotary Club, which is both South Kingstown and Narragansett. And so these are important institutions across our town, the local area. And these people all care about sort of the vibrancy of sort of the Main Street district right there, but then also sort of the surrounding districts, the surrounding small businesses that draw in tourists in the summer, but also sustain the town all throughout the year. And actually, one of the main points that the Main Street folks really stress is that, yes, it's great that you have tourism to your Main Street, to your town, but those folks don't pay the bills year round. You've got to make sure that the core people who live in the town are well taken care of, and they are shopping local and doing all those things, even in the dead of winter.
Have you heard anything so far where you'd say, stop the train, we're going in the wrong direction with some of the things that we're talking about or doing?
Great question. Actually, one of the best parts of this experience has been, and other people from the cohort have said similar, it feels like we are steps ahead of other communities, and we are in the right direction. And a lot of the things that we've already started doing, or the things that we've been trying to do, are the things that are being recommended. So one of the things they mentioned in the first workshop, the design workshop, was, it's good to have a facade program to help rehabilitate the facings of these buildings that are old, and if it looks like it's cared for, people want to participate more, right? And it's well, we just got that done, And so in a lot of these cases, we're getting advice, and it's oh, we're ahead of the game, and that's actually very motivating, because it's some of these were very hard fights, some of these were years in the making before it went to fruition. But to hear that if you're starting at square one, that's the first thing to do. It's okay, we've already got the momentum, we've already got the ball rolling, which is nice to hear.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What's the third topic you mentioned? Design?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Promotion.
The third topic was promotion.
Promotion.
Honestly, promotion, I don't think does it justice. I think the third workshop was one of the hardest workshops from the perspective of In the other two workshops they had, like, this works. No matter where you implement this, this will always work. Like, just, hit these 3 points and you'll be good to go. The promotion workshop was very much, it was less concrete, and it was more like, you need to figure out what makes your town your town. And then you need to be able to tell the story of your town in a way that people who aren't from there are going to understand.
Like the elevator pitch. And
Yeah, and so unfortunately, like, even in a whole day workshop, it didn't leave everyone in the cohort satisfied, because it's like, well, they didn't tell us what to do.
Yeah, right.
Because they can't tell us what they don't already know about South Kingstown. They can't tell us what it's like to live here, what this place is about. They can just tell us how to try to find what that is and how to, like, tell the story. And so there's a meeting next Tuesday that the cohort's going to get together and sort of put our brains together and try to unpack some of that learning. So I don't have a ton to share from this last Friday's session, just because, again, there's a lot to it, and we don't really have consensus just yet as to, like, what the takeaways are.
This cohort is terrific. I have to
Yeah,
say.
we have great conversations.
You did a great job of getting this kicked
cohort
off.
is really wonderful. They have so much fun together.
That's great.
They come with different points of view. They share them nicely, honestly, openly. They interact. They disagree when they disagree. They can come out of that disagreement in a good place.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm the grandmother, and I'm very proud of them.
The kids have done good, huh?
Yeah.
Now, how many sessions are there going to be?
I believe it's 2 more sessions. Oh, no. It's 3 more sessions. So the last...
6 total. There's 6 months.
There's 6 total.
Six months, yeah.
So the Main Street approach is like a 4-point plan where it's design, economic vitality, promotion, organization is the 4th point. So the next session will be on organization. And then I believe there's a session about, I think it's called transformation strategies, which is maybe like a sort of how to pull it all together and sort of get the ball rolling.
Sure.
And then the last session is really we're supposed to, like, try to implement something, and then it's a present back where we would present what we think our town is going to do next, or what we've already started doing in our town, to the rest of the group.
Sort of next steps, pilot.
And,
Yeah.
and one of
pilot
those May ones is here.
Yes. It might be the transformation strategies one is going to be on our Main Street at the church.
Yeah. Whatever that
I
church is.
forget which denomination church it is.
Across
Church of
from
Ascension?
Devon Distaff and across from
Yeah, on Kenyon.
Church of Ascension.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
There's no session on funding any of this, though.
It's in the conversation. So at this last session, we were reminded of the fact that Main Street USA has grant funding opportunities.
Right.
Now, for grants, you need to have a 501c3, I believe, to apply for the grants. So part of, I assume the next session is going to be like about how to create such an entity.
Wakefield Village.
Wakefield Village is already working on a 501c3 paperwork, I believe, if they're not already.
We applied for grants in the past.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're a nonprofit.
yeah,
The Commerce Commission, and
Yeah.
they had a Main Street grant. We actually did it ourselves.
Yeah.
yeah, and the idea there, I think, would be to formalize that enough so that there might even be able to be an employee or,
Yes.
something else, so that,
There needs to be more town
yeah,
Wakefield Village
yeah.
to get those grants.
Yeah.
That was the problem with trying to get them on our own.
And that's the one thing about the Wakefield Village is somehow as it is incorporated, it has to be able to include a bigger group. That, I talked to Scott Wolf a little bit about, the guy who runs Grossmart. And, I think that's what they're gonna deal with next time round, is how you set that up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's one of the speakers next Tuesday night. If you look at the agenda for like that coalition.
Oh, excellent.
I think one of the speakers is somebody from the state that is about grants and how to get money. I think that's what I saw.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great report.
And
Yeah.
Kirk does a very good job of, keeping everybody.
Herding the
together,
cats.
Making sure that we meet every month after the
Yeah, between
Main
the
Street.
sessions.
Yeah,
And there have been some learnings from just like the other towns sharing. One piece that I found somewhat interesting, which I won't go into super detail, but please look it up on your own. There's this thing in Richmond where Richmond was looking into something called the Richmond Redevelopment Agency, and it's like I honestly I don't fully understand the mechanism, but long story short, they're using some Rhode Island state law for the town to have like more planning power in their jurisdiction. But again, look it up on your own time. It was very sort of an interesting mechanism to try to like help promote certain types of development instead of other types of development. But yeah, so been learning a lot. It's sort of both a group share, and we're getting sort of top-down sort of learnings from the Main Street USA folks who actually have been doing this work, all around the country, with examples from Virginia, Florida, Oklahoma, like all sorts of places.
Good job.
Yeah.
Really, really
Like you
great.
said,
Appreciate
Richmond,
it.
do you mean our Richmond?
Yeah, our Richmond.
Oh, this is our Richmond. So
You been
yeah.
to Richmond?
Heard of it.
He's a lot of help.
That's it?
Yeah.
Everybody's pulled out of there.
Like I
It's
said,
like a ghost town.
Is it?
like I said, we go to these sessions and it feels like, oh wow, like we're like the big kid in town. Like we've actually got our stuff together compared to some of these places.
They're like little Wakefield Mall Strip is like empty.
Yeah.
Trees growing out of the buildings. It's like
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
it looks like the Armageddon.
Wow.
Yeah, good bike
What-
riding though.
So there's Richmond, what are the other towns?
Hopkinton,
Pawtucket,
North Kingstown,
yeah.
Post Road in North Kingstown is the district.
Post Road.
There's a you said Pawtucket. There's
Oh, yeah,
Mount Hope in
Right.
Providence.
right.
And yeah, a couple other assorted.
Okay, so you got Providence. Pawtucket,
What about East Greenwich? They have a Main Street.
Yeah, East Greenwich is one,
EG.
two.
Yep.
They're hopping.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they are hopping.
So
Is it Warwick that has like
Oh,
the
yeah.
town folk?
Yeah, maybe
Like
there's
people who
Warwick.
work for the town are part of the cohort. Yeah.
that's cool.
Uh-huh. Good. Excellent. So is it time to do a report? Do we have to do a report to anybody or?
Not yet. Oh.
Yeah,
I was
not.
just saying a
Oh.
status. No, I'm saying an update,
no.
a status.
Oh, I
anything?
write,
Wedgemont's on it, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
write a little email, diddly little thing
Mhm.
afterwards, and I send it to all the people who came to our meeting
Ah,
at the.
excellent.
At
Okay.
the, oh, I sent it to you too. You didn't come to that meeting because you were away.
Yeah.
But I think I put you on it anyway. So I send it to all those people and I just tell them, and I remind them, that's how we got the extra people. I remind them that if they want to come, they just have to let Kirk and Grossmart know so that they get a sandwich and Kirk knows they're coming and whatever. And that's where we picked up 2 more people.
Yep.
Great.
Free sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm going to Celeste on Tuesday.
Yeah. You just have to sit through the workshop, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
At Providence.
One sandwich?
Excellent.
I'm a hungry guy.
The brownies were good the last.
Watch out for the brownies.
Not like that.
Outstanding report.
Talking to the right man here.
What a great effort. You started out strong and just keep on soaring. Fantastic.
It's the legacy, Susan. You made it happen.
Exactly.
Well, I chose the right people. That was the miraculous thing.
Yeah, and so, that's it. So staff updates, you got Lofts Bare Ground, we
Yeah,
talked
we've
about.
already done that.
And
Any others?
No, that,
Hey, so wait, I had a question. I see on Ministerial Road, just up from the ambulance place,
mhm.
there's some pretty heavy equipment on the south side of the road. What's going on in there? I mean,
Oh.
Ambulance place.
When did you
The
see
EMT
it?
place.
On 110.
Yes. But it's not that one, it's up the road from there. I mean, there's some pretty
Yep.
heavy earth moving equipment in there. It looks
Nothing that's
like,
come through the planning department.
really.
Wait, where is this? Ministerial?
Ministerial Road, just north of Old Post Road.
How far up?
Oh, okay.
I'd say it's about 1,000 feet, 800
And which
feet.
side of the road is it?
South side.
Where the
Or
farm
actually,
is?
no, I would say west side.
The west side.
Yeah, that makes more
Oh,
sense.
west side.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
have not
it's,
had any applications
That's interesting.
from that area.
'cause I mean, this
Now,
is,
it
this
could
is
be
heavy
con-
equipment. not-
But it could be construction on a single-family lot. They
I,
could,
it's been sitting there for about 3 or 4 weeks idle, so I figured they hit a snag. And whoever, I mean, that's some heavy equipment out there. You know, it's not just the little payloader. So I thought something significant was
It's a
going
big
on.
excavator?
They've got an excavator, the dump truck, a bulldozer.
Oh, full crew, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The Main Street place there has a public hearing sign in front of it, the one that's gonna put the 30 units in
Oh.
the condos.
they,
Fiore?
yeah,
That's-
they got
that's
master
int-
plan approval at the last planning board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, they had master plan approval, and this was simply for a change to the master plan.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was not going to move forward in some capacity.
Mhm.
Because even if the change got denied, it would proceed under the original approval.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking forever.
Yeah, it was taking a while. But it was on their side, I thought. He stopped pursuing it for a while, right?
There was,
It's a complicated-
there was litigation
I know
there
that part, yeah.
that involved the town because they got denied, and then they complained it was because of stormwater coming off a town road and yada, yada, yada. And we do expect, given the public comment that we received at master plan, there is going to be some very significant discussions about stormwater management at the next phase, at preliminary plan, when they have all the engineering done for their stormwater management. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at that point.
It's because it's a big hill, the water's gonna.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They have some wetlands, sort of.
There are some wetlands on the property, but there's also a large watershed that flows through their property. So there's a lot of water that comes onto their property from elsewhere.
That's a piss off.
Yeah.
Down from Highland? Yeah.
Yeah, by the road. Yeah. All right, good. All
Done.
right. That's all I had. Any new discussion items? One question I had was.
Did you want to say something about the home show?
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
so happy to. Yeah, so every year, the Home Show has a section of the Home Show dedicated to a health expo that they call it. So South County is sponsoring this year's Health Expo. Actually, if you go to our webpage right now, there's going to be a pop-up that pops up on really every screen, and we're giving out essentially free tickets for anyone who wants to participate. I think we have up to 200 available still. Basically, what we have are booths related to the services that are offered by South County, South County Health, South County Hospital, as well as some of our partners in the community as well. Ortho Rhode Island is going to be there, Aspire Dermatology is going to be there, and then a few others in the medical kind of robotics space, which is really cool. So we're going to have some robots there. Anyone contemplating hip or joint surgery, you can see your robots up close and personal. But there's also going to be some seminars, one for women's health, one for cancer. I think there's going to be one on robotic surgery as well. And then some free screenings that are available. So there's a hernia screening that's going to be performed by our general surgeons, as well as a skin cancer screening. Yeah, don't underestimate the propensity for skin cancer. Got diagnosed when I was 37. It happens to all of us. Yeah, have those lumps and bumps checked out because they could be something pretty serious. And then also, we do have immediate access and availability in our Centers for Women's Health as well as primary care. So if you're looking for an appointment, we're doing direct bookings at the home show as well. So,
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
impressive.
think I saw a little ad or commercial on Facebook.
Yeah, probably, and I think
Yeah.
we sent it around in our newsletter as well. And it's a commute up to Providence, of course, but you know, if you're going to be there anyway, feel free to stop by.
They serve beer.
Is it inappropriate
And a
to
sandwich.
say the hospital is being
In a brown paper bag.
Something else about being bought? Is that not a topic you want to talk about?
Probably not at this meeting, but I can fill you in and give you an update
Okay.
offline.
Okay.
Our plan over the long term is to stay an independent community hospital, so there's not a purchase or any type of agreement like that.
All right. Acquiring management. And when is this, the home show again?
It is not this weekend, the weekend after, so April 10th through 12th.
Yeah, this weekend's Easter.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure.
It's Good Friday coming up here.
However,
Home
Yeah.
show.
Friday.
Why is it called the home show?
oh,
It's mostly
it is a
like-
home show.
It's a home
too.
show.
Literally?
Yeah, they're doing a.
Right?
They'll have contractors there.
Yeah.
Window guys.
Window people, all that.
Literal.
The roof, my favorite, the roof with the water
Like home
running down with the.
Mm.
What?
It's a
Tim
contract.
Taylor.
Ah,
Tim Taylor.
Taylor.
Got it.
Yeah, and
Got
they've
it.
got a big section there. I signed up for the robotics thing. I'm kind of curious.
All right.
Not from the medical part, but from
The robot
part,
hernia
the robot
check?
part.
Pretty cool.
Exactly.
Did anybody see on the news speaking of robots, what the Chinese did?
Oh, yeah.
They had these things
Oh.
dancing, and they were all in sync. There were like
It
10 of
al-
them.
it almost
It was
looks like it's AI.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. You just look at that and combine with AI, and that's
Yeah.
where they're coming together. It is unbelievable. They look like ballet dancers,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're all robots, and they're all doing the same dance. But there was probably
Flipping, yeah,
a
everything.
at least a
Great.
dozen on the stage.
Yeah.
Go back and
You
read
gotta see it.
Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah.
So speaking of AI, I should mention, and Ken can vouch for me on this. We've had a number of instances in town with AI sending out bills
Dude, looks so
for
real.
planning applications,
Oh.
and they are extremely convincing. Town letterhead, they're scraping our agendas,
I got it again the other day.
they're scraping our meetings. Oh, it gets better. One of our applicants received an AI-generated phone call that sounded like it came from the planning director.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's all there.
They even have like the stamp in the background. It was totally legit. I called the
So-
secretary. I was like, "How come I have to pay the town employees to review my? Isn't that their job?" She's like, "What?" And I said, "She's like, do not pay." It was a lot of money. I think the first one they tried to get me for 11 grand.
Wow.
Really?
Spread
Yeah.
the word. It's not just the planning department. The zoning department is having the
Yeah.
same thing. It's not unique to South Kingstown. This is
yeah.
I got it
nationwide.
2 days ago.
But
Another one
yeah, if anybody is getting emails that look extremely official from the town of South Kingstown asking for ridiculous amounts of money, they need to call us because it's probably a scam.
Yeah, they itemized the bill. They did a whole spiel about my whole plan that I put in
Yeah.
and
How
what
did
my
they get
next
that?
steps.
That's because you have something in front of them.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The paperwork is extremely detailed with all the facts of your project. 'cause they've
But how are they getting access to it?
Public
Public
information.
knowledge.
Oh,
It,
okay.
it got through me and my lawyer. My lawyer was like, "Yeah, you got to pay that because we need to move this along." I was like,
Scary stuff.
but here's the thing, it's not a check. You have to wire the money. That's why I got like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should
I was like-
alarm bell you. Yeah.
Well, I was
Send
like,
it
how
in
come I can't just
Bitcoin.
come down there and give you a check? I don't want to wire the money. And they were like, do not pay. And I was like, ooh, that's good because I didn't plan on that.
Honestly, I am more and more convinced, and like my background is like electrical engineering. My wife does machine learning research. More and more convinced we are actually moving closer to a in-person handshake paper process society again because you cannot trust anything online anymore.
Yeah.
What goes
Like
around comes
you
around.
need to go to the town clerk, ask what you owe. They tell you in person. You hand them the check, and that's the only way you know that like nothing weird happened in
Yeah.
the process. And like that's crazy and that sucks, but like until we find some safeguard against what can.
I mean, it
experience.
was so good. I was
Yeah.
like, whoever did this, imagine if they actually applied it to like something good. They could actually probably make money the right way. And,
Yeah.
actually be successful instead of.
Yeah.
Shaking
One of-
down.
Being a
one of the
scam
other
artist.
people who got this actually had their IT person track
Okay.
the stuff, and apparently somebody had a bank account set up in the town of South Kingstown's name in South Carolina to
Oh.
receive
Oh.
payments.
No.
Yeah, when I tell you it was completely legit, like
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to pull the wool over my eyes, and I was like,
It's no longer the
"Ooh,
prince
shit."
asking you for money 'cause somebody died and you're related to them. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, this is
your
South
social
Carolina
security
Nigerian
number.
prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better than that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean,
I mean, I came into $80 million and I need your help for a bank
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
you're the one with the
I got
There
that
it is.
before.
Just send it.
I had a descendant in Alaska that inherited all this money,
Right, right.
and the lawyer called me and was like, "We can't find anybody, but we think you're a next of kin. You have like 30 days." I'm like, "How much?" And they're like, I'm like, "Buddy, you're so full of shit. You would have called me. You would have tried to figure out a way to get that money for yourself. Come on."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, "I don't know what you're saying, sir." I'm like, "I call bullshit. Not happening. Not with my last name. Tetzner." I was like, anybody that has Tetzner, they say is somewhat related to me. I don't know anybody with that last name besides my family. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I think I know that guy. I don't have any long
When
lost.
did this start, Brian?
Started with me, didn't it?
Yeah, you got one of the first ones. I
Yeah.
think. Goes back last fall. You got that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just got it 2 days ago. I sent it
Yeah,
to Jamie.
There's been
I got a
another-
letter
another
from
flurry
Jamie
just
Rabbit
went
this
out.
time.
Yeah.
Straight from Jamie, like,
That's,
I was like, I know Jamie Rabbit didn't send me this. I sent it to Jamie and said,
you don't even
FYI.
like me.
I was like, you shaking me down.
Wow.
No, it's
All right, good session.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
a motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye, aye, aye.
It's a wrap.